And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm back with the Squad Tip series. So like I've said in previous Squad Tip series videos, I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this series. I mean, as long as you guys want to see it, I'll keep doing it, at least for 2K21, I mean. Obviously, I will be bringing it back for 2K22 almost instantaneously. But for 2K21, we're at the point where every card's going to be so cracked that it's kind of hard to do it, and it's more of a personal preference thing. But I'm still going to try to do it as long as you guys want to see it. So, comment down below. I mean, if you want me to keep it going all year, I definitely will. Or at least for the remainder of 2K21's lifespan. So, if you're new to the series and you're unfamiliar with what exactly it is, essentially you submit your teams to me, and I tell you how to make pretty rational and grounded improvements on the squad. So, we'll start with our first team here. I usually do about 5, possibly 6. I think this time I have 5. Pretty good mix of like budget squads and regular squads too. So this one's a pretty nice one. We got kind of a more upscale squad starting first. Shout out to Uncle Breaker for submitting his team. So this is the squad. I got 850k MT left. Thinking about adding out of position T-Mac for sure. I'm also thinking about Karolinko and Hito as well. Maybe if they drop in price. Or maybe if he really drops in price, Invincible Giannis. Yeah, don't count on it, bro. Sorry. Any suggestions? I am on next gen. All right, so cool, because I don't get many next gen ones. So right off the bat, I mean, the team's not bad in and of itself. Dissinger's obviously a fan favorite. Luke is really, really good. You have Jalen Rose already, who I'm a big fan of. So right off the bat, if you like Dissinger's jump shot... So if you're a big fan of Dissinger's jump shot, right off the bat, I mean, one upgrade to make here, and I think it is an upgrade, would be to throw my man Rudy at the 2 guard here. I think he is superior to Paul George. That's just kind of my thought process on it. Obviously, if you wanted to keep Paul George, you could obviously throw Paul George on the bench. I do generally feel like if you like Terry Dissinger's jump shot a lot more, it may be more beneficial to use Rudy as opposed to someone like Tracy McGrady or even like Andre Karolinko. It just depends how you feel about that jump shot. Now, Paul George is still going for about 80k. He's going for about the same price as Hito, so if you're not absolutely in love with Paul George cards, it may not be a terrible idea to even do something of this nature. I mean, if you really like Jimmy Butler, I would keep him. Jimmy Butler's still more than usable at this point, and then grab like Hito, and then do something like that. That way you're not really losing much MT on that Hito for Paul George transaction. At the same time, I think this makes your team a lot better. I actually, believe it or not, this is shocking, especially because I'm such a Tracy McGrady stan. I play significantly better with Rudy than I do with T-Mac this year. I don't know what it is, but this dude has easily the most green jump shot for me, specifically this card. I'm more green with this card than any other card in the game, and maybe it has something to do with the card. Maybe it's just a personal thing. I'm not really sure, if I'm being honest, so I don't know. I think this would be a really good look for your squad right here. Wiseman and Bol Bol are fine, especially because I believe you said that Bol Bol is pretty juiced up. You've added like badges, shoes, and stuff like that to him, so that's fine. Jalen Rose is really, really good as well, especially for a budget card. Like, he's very, very nice. You could easily get away with going with like an Andre Karolinko or a Hito here, but I don't think it's completely necessary, especially being it's Thursday. We don't really know what kind of content that we're getting on Friday. I usually do these on Tuesday, but you know, after everything that happened this weekend, like, my life has been a little crazy right now, so I had to kind of push this back a few days, but I don't know. Right here, I think this is a really good squad for you. If you wanted to go, instead of doing Jimmy Butler, and go with, like, Andre Karolinko here, as opposed to that, and then run Jimmy Butler at the small forward, or you could just get rid of Jimmy Butler completely if you want to, and keep Paul George. It just depends. That's super preference-based. Especially when it comes to Paul George, Jimmy Butler, like for a straight swap, that's like super preference. The cards themselves are almost identical. It's just the jump shot itself and a couple other various factors, I guess. But pretty much like as far as like how good the cards are, they're basically a wash in my opinion. So it doesn't really matter. But if you are a big fan of Dissinger, highly recommend checking this Rudy card out because that jump shot is exactly the same. And I prefer to use these two cards over a lot of cards that I have that are invincible or even better, just because of how green I am with that jump shot. I still find a way to throw T-Mac in there, though. Oop T-Mac is obviously someone you can pick up as well. He can play next to Paul George. He can play next to Hito. It doesn't really matter. So I would say there's no real definitive, like, yes, you should pick this guy up. You should pick this guy up. And I will say, Oop T-Mac does not have blinders on next gen, so that's just something to think about. It's not really that big of a deal in my opinion, but definitely something to think about. But I think this squad right here might be your best bet. Obviously, you could switch out Jimmy Butler and Hito with these two guys if you wanted to. You could even get rid of Jalen Rose if you really wanted to. I just don't think any of them are necessary completely, so it's completely like preference based. Obviously, who knows what we're getting tomorrow too, so if you want to wait to make these moves till tomorrow, I totally understand. I think that's probably wise because we don't really know what cards we're getting tomorrow, and we could get something that would be right up your wheelhouse. But I think Rudy is definitely someone to look at, especially if you're really green with Dissinger. So, hey, thanks for submitting the squad. I hope this helped at least a little bit. Reset. Next team. What do we got? Let me zoom in on the picture here because it's like real small. We got Batum in the mix. Okay. Batum's still really good. He kind of got forgotten about because we have so many good cards. Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, fan favorites, but he has 57 Hoffs. Okay, cool. Granger from out of position 2 or 3. Anthony Davis from fan favorites. Okay. Once again, Hoff badged out. So Zion, point guard Zion. Okay. I mean, he's still a good free card. Is that J.R. Smith? Yeah, okay. JR, Kukoc. You probably just, it doesn't look like you use the bench very much. Bob McAdoo and Robinson. Okay. And this one. All right. So let's see. Your PS4, 5 out in rim run and 3 hunt. 1 million MT, you're level 38, so you'll have Luka in the next few days. Okay, so no point guard upgrade needed. Fair enough. Brown and AD both have 57 badges, if that matters. Hoff badges. Okay. Mostly run 5-man squads, so my bench is always kind of lacking. Okay. Cool. So, right off the bat, I don't really think there's, like, crazy upgrades to make here. It depends how you feel about Danny Granger. Like, I'm guessing if you're using Danny Granger, like, you're really good with Danny Granger, so I'm not going to say to get rid of him or anything. I mean, it's not really necessary. Danny Granger is a very good card. If this 5-man squad is working for you, like, obviously I'll get rid of Zion because I'm guessing you're going to go Luka at the top, which that makes your team a little bit better right off the bat, I think. So, I do think it's worth it. It's worthwhile to upgrade your bench just a little bit. Do you necessarily have to run with, like, some overpowered cards? Not necessarily, but if you want to look at, I notice you like out of position cards at least a little bit. So one guy I would recommend checking out because he's really cheap would be Darius Miles. He can play the 2-guard really well. I'd be willing to say he's a much better card than J.R. Smith if you wanted to go that route. That's somebody to kind of look at as well. Looking at the jump shots, I mean, you don't really use too many meta jump shots. Like, you're using Luka, which is XM base, which you'll get used to pretty quick. Like, I like base 22. And on current gen, I think it's a meta jump shot, but it's not like the creme de la creme where if somebody has base 22, most content creators aren't going to tweak out. It's usually just me. LeBron base is not very good. You will notice he's not shooting corner threes, which, I mean, if you're green enough, it's not that big of a deal. You know, you can take the 2s if you want. Granger's jump shot, I think, is fine. I would have preferred it to be base 29, but the one he does have is fine as well. And AD's jump shot's fine. But you're not really using meta jump shots, which makes me believe that you can kind of adapt to any jump shot. So I think Darius Miles would be someone to look at. As far as the small forward, Kukoc is fine still. If you wanted an upgrade there for cheap, a couple good upgrades would be like Jalen Rose or possibly like Clyde Drexler. Those are really nice upgrades. They're both better than Kukoc at this point, and they can work really well. Darius Miles is probably the one that I would say, you know, you might want to look into. Kukoc can still handle his own. JR is going to get killed on defense for some people. If you don't really run your bench anyway, though, I think Darius Miles is a nice card to have. Just if you need to slot him in, you can. I understand you don't want to get rid of LeBron and Anthony Davis. One thing I would say, though, I don't know. It depends. Like, if you really like this LeBron, that's like a personal thing. I'm not going to tell you not to use him or anything. The Team USA LeBron is, like, superior in every way, though. And he's not that much more expensive. I mean, 50, 60K more expensive. I think he's close to, like, 180 right now. And this LeBron's going for, like, a little over 100. It's not even buy it now yet. So that's possible. And he can shoot corner threes because he's got the same base as Luka. So that's definitely something to think about, especially with the extra badge additions. You can probably get close to his value for this LeBron You're still gonna have to probably spend 40 or so K above what you were going to spend though. But it's something to think about. Jimmy's fine. I'm guessing you have badge additions on him as well. AD's fine. Bob McAdoo and David Robinson. You look like you're pretty good with upgrading badges, so I'm sure they're fine as well. But yeah, these three guys are definitely guys I would look at. In addition, Pantheon Clyde Drexler is incredibly good. So, and if you like that base 22 from Jimmy Butler, like it's not even a terrible idea to look into Chris Mullin as well. But once again, like I'll say with pretty much every team, don't make any huge rash decisions until you see what we're getting tomorrow, because you don't really know exactly what it is. I mean, we know we're getting like a Damian Lillard, which doesn't matter, a GOAT LeBron, a GOAT MJ, which I'll say it right now. There's absolutely no reason to upgrade from the Invincible cards to get like a +2 in offensive rebounding. You know what I mean? It's not worth the extra million MT price tag. So definitely don't make any rash decisions, but a couple click upgrades that aren't going to cost you much MT, Darius Miles, Jalen Rose, and then 50K LeBron upgrade to get a superior LeBron with the same badge count that just has a better jump shot and has the option to play the 2 guard if you need him to. So that's it. Shout out to you. I don't even think I said your name, so I apologize. Shout out to Cody FL1992 for submitting the squad. Hopefully this helped a little bit. I don't think there's too many rash decisions. As far as Danny Granger goes, I know a lot of people are going to say, like, why didn't you tell him to upgrade that? There's just really no good, cheap power forwards that are a huge upgrade over Danny Granger, if that makes sense, you know, especially if you like him. Comment down below and let me know how you feel about Danny Granger, because if you don't like him and you want to make an upgrade on that, like, I will comment down below and I'll, like, suggest some other cards that you could go after. So definitely not out of the woods yet. All right, next guy, Kiganu. That is your name? Okay. So you're running Luka? Okay. Oh, yeah, you're running my boy Rudy? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Dissinger. Yep. This is basically the front court that I told the first guy to get, basically. This is the one right here. Wiseman at power. Ayton. By the way, Ayton's a really good card to pick up for super cheap, too. All right. Okay, this is why I click. Yeah. Tyler Hero, Middleton, my man Chris Money, Gladiator Kobe Bryant, bam, Bol. Yeah, I mean Bol is still good enough, you know, and Giannis, radioactive Giannis, which is fine, especially because he has that dynamic duo with Chris Middleton. Okay, appreciate everything you do for the My Team community. Bless you. Like that. Current gen, no money spent, 70K. I play all game modes besides Unlimited for the most part. I feel you. Luka, Tyler, and Terry are your guys. That's who you don't want to get rid of. Okay, Tyler Hero is definitely one of the guys I was going to tell you to get rid of, so that's good. I'm glad you said that. You 3 hunt, but happy to take whatever shot comes my way. Happy to grind, and no one is untouchable. Okay. Cool. Good. So right off the bat, Tyler has that base 107, I think. Let me double check exactly what his base is. I'm pretty sure it's base 107, but I just want to be double sure on that before I speak. No, sorry, he has Trae Young base. Okay. He doesn't have the 107 this year. Trae Young base is okay. I mean, if you like Tyler Hero, at this point in the year, every card's so cracked out that there's really no point to switch it up. I mean, one thing I will do, which I'm sure the game does for you automatically before I even make any changes here, would be to switch Kobe and Middleton. Middleton is significantly better at the small forward than Kobe is, obviously. I'm pretty sure the game will do that for you anyway. But just on the off chance that it doesn't, this is probably a much better, you know, squad. The starting lineup is fire. I'm not going to do anything wrong. Just because for the price you got Ayton, there's really no reason to upgrade to a more expensive center when you have Ayton. Ayton's fine for what he does. Rebounding wise, this looks concerning with Bol and Giannis, but they're both like straight up slender men, and they'll go ahead and just get rebounds over even like Invincible Shaq and stuff like that, because especially 2K this year doesn't really take into account like body mass or anything. It's really just about like wingspan and height. So this is totally fine to run. If you want to run Kobe, that's fine. If you want to run Tyler Hero, that's fine. I will provide you with a couple guys that maybe you can try out that you might like better than those two. I've said it a bunch of times. Jalen Rose is really good at the point guard. If you like Tyler Hero, you don't need to make that upgrade, but if you want to pick up a couple cheap guys that might make your squad a little bit better, Jalen Rose, Clyde Drexler, Darius Miles. Like right there, those 3 guys are guys that you can pick up for relatively cheap. I mean, I think each one of these guys is going for maybe 7K at the most. So if you want to take a rental on one of these guys, see if they're any good, maybe you play better with them than Tyler Hero, or even like Kobe Bryant, because Jalen Rose can play the small forward as well, so you could shift Middleton over the shooting guard and then run Jalen Rose here, and Clyde Drexler is the same. He can kind of play either of these positions as well. Darius Miles can only play the 2 guard or the point guard, but he could play either of those 2 positions also. So it's kind of one of those things. And if you're looking for like a real... I don't think it's worth going to buy the Dark Matter Kobe at this point, just because it's going to eat up too much of your MT. So I would take a look at these 3 budget options, see if you like any of them. I would keep Middleton just because of that dynamic duo with Giannis. It makes those 2 cards very good. Middleton's already good on its own, but it makes Giannis like a little bit better. So you're good there. But looking at one of these guys, if you want to plug a hole here, would probably be ideal. Because I think, if I'm being honest, like this Gladiator Kobe is fine. But Jalen Rose, Clyde Drexler, and Darius Miles are all better than him. So it's not a terrible idea to check out a rental on these guys, see if you play well with them, and kind of go from there. So shout out to you, my man. I hope this helped you out. Like I said, I'm not going to try to uproot your guys' entire teams. If you have 70K MT, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, use that 70K MT to go get like this one specific player or anything. I think that's kind of counterproductive. So hopefully this helps you. Shout out to you, man. All right, next up, my man Fiji. I think I've done you before, but it's cool. So bored, I started my 3rd account, grinded to 70K, but after my squad got 50K left. Okay, so you're running Obi Toppin. Okay, I remember you like Obi Toppin a lot, though, so either way. So you're running Obi, Chris Mullin. Okay, so yeah, you're running like a true budget squad. I like these. This is where I prosper. Clyde Drexler, okay. Bosch. Splash Zone Bosch, and Brook Lopez. Oh yeah, you're running a true budget squad. I like this. RJ Hampton. Okay, I do not like that. Denny Avija. Okay. My boy Matisse Thybulle. all right. Pink Diamond AD. Okay, yeah, we can make some upgrades here. For sure. Where's Anthony Davis Pink Diamond at? I know he's around here somewhere. There we go. And Kevin Love. Okay. So let's see. Play similar to Ty Diva. Okay. So, yep. All right. You need a better bench forward / centers. I green the most with Mullen and Clyde. Brick the most with Matisse and RJ Hampton. Okay. Right off the bat, Denny Avija needs to go. I'm not a huge fan of him personally. Obi Toppin's fine. You can still use him. I think he plays better at the shooting guard, personally. That's just me, though. Replace Denny with probably, let's just say Darius Miles for now. Though, obviously, like, Jalen Rose, if you like base 32, which is the same base as, like, I want to say Rajon Rondo's base. Let me see who else has base 32 to see if maybe, I'm sure you've used a few people that have base 32, but I can't remember exactly who else. Let's see. Let's go. Jalen Rose. Not Derrick Rose, dude. Jeez. Jalen Rose. Not Jalen Brunson. What do you think? Yeah. Jump shot 32. Let's see who else has it. Rondo, Lonnie Walker, DeAndre Hunter, Trevor Ariza. Those are the guys right there. Also, like, DeAndre Hunter, don't sleep on him either. I think he'd be a really good one as well. Darius Miles is a really good card, though. And obviously Jalen Rose as well. As far as this AD, I would drop this AD and grab the Anthony Davis from the Pantheon Team USA set. He's a little bit more expensive, like 4K, but it's significantly worth it. And then I would probably move him to the starting lineup, to be completely honest with you. Like, that's what I would do. Bam. Bosch is fine to hang around on the bench unit, kind of hold it down. It gives you a little bit more size next to Kevin Love, too, which you're going to need as well. Brook Lopez isn't terrible for what his price actually is, but something to think about. Darius Miles, I think he can play the point guard or the shooting guard, but I think your best bet would be to go and grab Jalen Rose right here. Boom. And then you can also play him at the small forward position if you wanted to grab a different point guard. I personally would start Jalen Rose, though. Like, that's just me. I would start him. I'd start Jalen Rose, go Darius Miles right here. Bam. Depends how you feel about DeAndre Hunter. Probably throw him in the mix right there. You have Clyde and Mullen. Those are two of the best like budget cards in the game. I don't think any of the other stuff that we've gotten, especially in out of position 4, wasn't really good. Like Wilson Chandler is pretty not tight, and then Reggie Theus is fun, but he's not like a card I would recommend using at the power forward position. He does have a sick Jerry curl though, which is like always something that's like a close to my heart, just because I've always wanted a sick Jerry curl. I miss them. Now, as far as Matisse Thybulle, like I said, you can play DeAndre Hunter there just fine. Might not even be a terrible idea to look at some of the season rewind guys. Like Chris Middleton is super cheap. I think he'd be like an excellent player for your team right there. Like Chris Middleton would be good. Ayton, put in the locker code. Get one of these two guys. If you haven't already, and if you didn't, it's still fine. They're only like 8K. These two guys would both instantly buff up your team. Like grabbing Ayton right here, put next to AD, bam. Grabbing Chris Middleton, getting rid of Thybulle, bam. This team is completely reconstructed, and it'll cost you at the most like 20K. Jalen Rose is about 7K. Darius Miles is about 7K. Chris Middleton is about 10. So, I mean, that's about 24 right there. The AD upgrade, once you sell the other one, is going to cost you probably like 2K. So that's like 26. Hopefully you put in the locker code before submitting your team. If you didn't, this will cost you about 32K for like an upgrade for this squad, which isn't bad at all, and it makes your team significantly better. So let me know what you think down in the comments below about the team. Obviously, waiting until tomorrow's content is always a good idea too, because the budget cards we've been getting are so stupid that who knows exactly what's going on. But I don't know. Let me know. I think this is a much better looking team personally. Maybe I'm tripping, but I actually think this is a really good team. Don't sleep on this guy too. This guy's really cheap, and I think he might make a really beneficial addition to your team for really cheap. Thad Young. Pink Diamond Thad Young is really, really nice. You could play him at the small forward. You can play him at the power forward if you wanted to. Doesn't really matter. He's really good. I'm sure there's other budget guys I'm forgetting, so like don't be afraid to jump in the comments and suggest other budget cards. Like I don't do like a pre-recording or a script or anything before I do these videos, so, and also like I'm minorly concussed, so I might like forget about a budget card or two. So like don't be afraid to jump in the comments and be like, oh yeah, you forgot about this guy. We're here to help each other, man. All right. I'm only slightly blasted, I swear. It's called pain management. Look it up. Next up, final team. We got my man Langs 10 or Langzio. I don't really know what you're going with that one, but we'll see what's up. My boy Rudy at point guard. Okay. Ray Allen, shooting guard. Opal Ray Allen's good, too. He dunks, like, harder than you'd expect. Terry Dissinger. Yup. You love to see it. John Collins. So many people use this John Collins card. It's actually kind of crazy. Ayton. Yup. What's the bench looking like? Tyrese Halliburton. That's another card I kind of forgot to mention. Tyrese Halliburton is obviously, like, a really good card. So definitely don't be afraid to go check him out. Clyde Drexler, Elgin Baylor, okay. Dark Matter Elgin, Moses Malone, and Juiced Up Bol. Okay. A lot of Juiced Up Bols this week, apparently. Anyone can be moved or changed. I don't want to grind for too many more cards. I green the most with Tyrese Halliburton. Okay. And you play all game modes. Cool, perfect. All right, right off the bat, then don't get rid of Tyrese Halliburton. At this point, I mean, I would do this. 2K might do this like on its own, but sometimes they don't, so it's really hard to tell because I believe Elgin Baylor plays small forward primary. I would play Elgin Baylor at the shooting guard and Drexler at the small forward just because of the size difference. As far as the point guard position, it depends how you feel about Ray Allen. Oh, by the way, your no money spent current gem with 200K. Okay, yeah, it depends how you feel about Ray Allen. This Ray Allen is actually incredibly good. If you guys are not aware, this is the Ray Allen you would want to pick up on current gen because he does not have steady. This is the only Ray Allen card without steady in the game. So this is the one that you would want to pick up on current gen. So I'm not going to tell you to get rid of Ray Allen. He's great. If you like Rudy at the point guard, stay with Rudy at the point guard. I prefer him at the shooting guard, but it's kind of a preference thing. It doesn't really matter either way. Rudy, Ray Allen, and Dissinger is a real... That's lethal. That's a lethal shooting crew right there. John Collins and Ayton can both step out and hit it as well. I don't know how you feel about John Collins. I personally would play Moses Malone in the starting lineup. That's just me. Even if it takes you a little bit to get used to it, I still do think that Moses Malone is a better card overall. But that's also like a personal bias thing. You can keep it the way you have it if you want. That's just my only suggestion right there. Once again, like I've told every single team, I mean, it's not a bad idea to maybe go pick up like Darius Miles, Jalen Rose, just cheap guys to test out and just see how you like them. As far as power forwards, I mean, you got 200K if you wanted to upgrade. I don't think you need an upgrade at power forward. I really don't think you need an upgrade at center either. Your team's fine. How do you feel about Elgin Baylor is the question. Elgin Baylor's fine, but it is something you can make an upgrade if you want to pick up like Jalen Rose, Darius Miles. Guys like that, not a terrible move. If you want to pick up Hito, Hito's not very expensive, and Hito's incredibly good. I don't really like Poku, which is why you haven't heard me suggest Puka. I'm just going to call him Poku. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name in this video because I just really don't like the card that much. I mean, if you do, that's cool and everything, but I'm just not a huge fan of the card personally. So that's why I haven't really suggested it. Same with like Ewing from the Pantheon set. I think Ewing's pretty good, but when you can get Ayton for like 7K, it's really hard to deny that, you know? Another good card would be Middleton. Middleton, if you want to slap him over where Elgin Baylor is, you can pick him up for like 7-8K at the absolute most. He's been in so many different like codes and events and stuff. He's like really cheap. And I like Middleton a lot. It took me a while to get his jump shot down. That's the one thing I will say. So it might be a rough transition, but he is a really nice 3-and-D guy, and if that's kind of what you're looking for out of your shooting guard or your small forward, because he can kind of play both, not a bad move either. Just with Friday's content coming, I don't really think there's anything out there that's really a huge upgrade. I mean, one that I would say take a look at would be Brandon Roy. Filling Elgin Baylor's spot with a Brandon Roy, it might be a pretty good idea. I don't remember if he has steady though. That's kind of the thing. Either him or Zach LaVine doesn't have steady, and I think both of them are like equally good. Let me double check on that real quick, because I don't want to say he doesn't, because I don't remember exactly if he does or not. So let me double check if he has steady / blinders real quick. I don't know if he does. He does not. So he's actually going to be a really good card as well. Brandon Roy would not be a bad option. If you wanted to spend a little bit more MT and get like a more elite option, this bench looks lethal, like straight up. Like when you add Brandon Roy to the mix, if you want to run a 13-man and have like Jalen Rose and Darius Miles for height reasons, you can throw those guys in the mix. That looks like a pretty lethal bench. I don't know. That's how I feel. If you like John Collins, there's no reason to upgrade there. If you like Bol Bol a lot, really no reason to upgrade there. I'm not the biggest Bol Bol guy, like you guys know that, but I respect how much people like him, especially over on current gen. He moves really well and stuff, so I get it. And because you're so green with Halliburton, there's really no point to get rid of Halliburton right at this second. And I mean, if you really like Elgin Baylor, like there's no reason to get rid of Elgin Baylor specifically. I'm just trying to target a card that you didn't specify as liking a lot. But looking at this roster, I think this is a really potent roster that can kind of compete with any team that you run into in the game, regardless how many Invincibles or like LeBrons or like, you know, stupid overpowered cards that they have. I still think this team has the size, the flexibility, and the scoring ability with a good roster of both very good shooters and very good defenders and rim attackers to really compete against some of those squads. So let me know what you think down in the comments, man. I'm happy to help always. As always, it has been your boy Cheap Blues. I will be back with more content later. I'm guessing 2K is going to start teasing stuff at some point later tonight, so I'll probably have one of those videos as well. Comment down below, because usually the people who watch these videos are like my like tight-knit, like loyal viewers. So like, let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see me do another like NBA quiz, because I was thinking about doing another starting lineup quiz today, because I just generally have fun doing them, even though they only get like 500 views. I just enjoy it. So let me know if you want to see that down in the comments. today's been a rough day for me, man. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically, like, the cops in my town are dumb. Like, they're, like, super dumb. They basically took my entire report of what happened, including, like, there was a baby in the car. Like, in the other person's car, there was a baby. They said they were drunk. Pretty much took everything that I and the witnesses told them, just left it out of the report to make their job easier, which is, like, really messed up, because I almost died and have no car. So I would have liked to see some sort of, I don't know, not repercussions. I don't believe too much in, like, complete crime and punishment, like, mistakes are mistakes, whatever. But some sort of, like, accountability from the person who did it, which they're not going to receive any of, because apparently all they're getting charged with is running a red light and failure to stop. And also they didn't have insurance, so that's super tight as well. So just a little background. Yeah, it's whatever. As always, it's been your boy Cheap Blues. It's therapeutic for me to talk about, dude. I need to talk to somebody, and it has to be you, so I apologize. Either way, I'll be back later with more content, and I appreciate you guys as always.